Tage Thompson has become one of the best players in the NHL, and he is a player that the Buffalo Sabres have been waiting for a long time. Welcome back to another NHL 23 video. Today, we are going to be simulating the career of Tage Thompson. Currently, Tage Thompson is top 5 in scoring in the NHL this year, and he's following up his impressive campaign last year. We had 38 goals in 78 games, 68 points, and he is on pace to crush this year. But for this career simulation, I'm going to be controlling a completely different team, so the whole career is going to be simulated by the AI. I'm not going to sign him. I'm not going to trade for him. I'm not going to do any of that. The computer will be controlling absolutely everything in the Tage Thompson career simulation. I'm also using the rosters from NHL. I added a couple of Superstar X Factors because they did him dirty. He's got an elite shot, so made sure that it had it in there. So let's get into it. Year number 1, viewing the lines. Tage Thompson will be playing with Jeff Skinner and Victor Olofsson. Second line, they got Petrika, Cousins, Tuck, Middlestat, Asplund, Okposo, Hinostroza. Probably still wrong. Riley Shen and Gergensons. But yeah, Tage Thompson, 89 overall in year 1, 24 years old. I did change his potential to a medium franchise because I think he deserves that. But he's still got a lot of good years left in him. These are his stats in year 1, and I'm going to simulate year 1, and we'll see how he does in his first season in the NHL simulation. I also changed him to be a sniper from power forward just because he scores so many goals. Year 1 is done and dusted now. Thompson leads the Buffalo Sabres to the Stanley Cup playoffs, but they fall in round 1 to the Boston Bruins in 7 games. Tage leads his team in scoring with 89 points in 82 games, with Rasmus Dahlin also going over a point per game, but 36 goals, career best for him, 305 shots. Could not score that much, but a lot of shots on goal there. And leading the league this year was Mr. Nikita Kucherov with 63 goals, 120 points. After a career year, we're back with the second year of the simulation where Tage Thompson is now a 91 overall, still playing with Jeff Skinner, but he's got a new lineman on the right side as it's going to be Alex Tuck this time, up to a 91 as mentioned, but these are now his stats. Great wrist shot power, great slap shot power. I mean, an all-around beast out there. Skating could be a little bit better, but let's see how he does in the second year of the simulation. For the second straight year, the Buffalo Sabres and Tage Thompson get eliminated in the first round, but once again do make the Stanley Cup playoffs, so that's a plus. First 50-goal season achieved. Check that off the list as Tage Thompson has 115 points, 52 goals, 63 helpers this year. Skinner right behind him with 95. Alex Tuck, 88. So that first line, I mean, Thompson just making them all better. What a year from Tage Thompson. Let's see if he did lead the NHL, though. There's a chance. And he does. Tage Thompson in year 2 leads the NHL in scoring. Let's go take a look at the awards here and see if we won anything. So Art Ross, Tage Thompson. Hart doesn't go to Thompson, though somehow goes to Austin Matthews. I say that's rigged. Anything else? The Lady Bing to Jeff Skinner. Keep going down the list here. So Tage Thompson really only one award. The Art Ross, that's it. Matthews gets everything else. Okay, on to year 3. Every year, the Sabres are getting a little bit better, and same with Thompson, as he is now a 93 overall, coming off of 115-point campaign. We got Skinner up to an 87, and Alex Tuck up to an 88. Dylan Cousins also waiting in the wings at 88 overall, so probably lifelong teammates there. But let's get the year 3 simulation underway and see if we can finally get past that first round. The Sabres finally make it past round number 1, but in round 2, they fall to the eventual Stanley Cup champions, the Toronto Maple Leafs. And for the third consecutive season, Thompson does lead the team in scoring with 106 points. A little bit of a downgrade from last year, but still another 100-point campaign in the books here. And in the entire NHL, I don't imagine he led. No, David Pastrnak leads, who is actually on the Anaheim Ducks now, but 4th in scoring this year. After his first taste of second-round action, Tage Thompson remains at a 93 overall, still playing with Tuck and Skinner. Let's see how many years left on his contract does he have. So he has 4 years left. including this year. So we'll see if he does remain a Buffalo Sabre after that time. But he is now 27 years old, and his full career stats, if we take a look, is 413 points in 469 games. So we'll see if he can go over a point per game by the end of his career. Another heartbreaking Game 7 loss, as this time the Sabres fall to the Columbus Blue Jackets in round number 1. But for the third straight season, Tage Thompson does reach the 100-point plateau. Let's see how he's been doing in the playoffs too quickly. Playoff stats, been pretty damn good. Over a point per game every year in the playoffs so far. Back with another year, and the team's getting a little bit weaker here. Jeff Skinner, Tage Thompson, and Gustav Nyquist. Thompson at a 93 overall now. Let's pose a question here. Who would you rather on your team? Tage Thompson or Alex DeBrincat? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm a Sens fan, but I would take Tage Thompson any day of the week. Another year, same story. Game 7, unable to prevail in round number 1. Come on, Tage. We just need one Game 7 to go our way. For the first time in 4 years, Tage Thompson is below the 100-point plateau as he finishes with 97 points this year. Probably has something to do with playing with an 80 overall on that first line. Where is he? Did I miss him? Maybe they got rid of him. Am I blind? Skinner. Oh, they got Matt Savoie. Matt Savoie would be nice to add on that line with them. Jack Quinn, another good young player to add there. They got some potential here. But 97 points. We need more, Tage. We need more. And he's actually dropped from a franchise potential to an exact elite. Tage Thompson has a new line mate. It looks like Alexander Ovechkin, 42-year-old, is coming to play with the Buffalo Sabres as Tage Thompson, Alexander Ovechkin, and Jack Quinn combined to make the first line for the Buffalo Sabres. That is insane. How's Ovi been doing? He has broken the goals record by a long shot, but welcome to the Buffalo Sabres and to Tage Thompson. Welcome, the greatest goal scorer of all time, to your line. Let's see who will score more goals, Tage Thompson or Alexander Ovechkin. Sabres finally make it back to the second round, but unfortunately they fell to the Ottawa Senators in 6 games, while the Winnipeg Jets go on to win the Stanley Cup. Playing with the Great 8 sparks Tage Thompson as he puts up 114 points, his second best season, 47 goals, 67 helpers. Ovi does score more goals than him, but look at Matt Savoie go. So hopefully they can get Matt Savoie on that line as a playmaker. That would be elite. And this year, the Buffalo Sabres also win the President's Trophy individual awards. Tage Thompson wins the Hart Trophy. Rasmus Dahlin with the Norris. Anything else for Tage Thompson here? Going through, Ted Lindsay also goes to Tage Thompson. The Maurice Rock-Richard to Austin Matthews. Year 7 of the simulation now. This is flying by. But Tage Thompson still at the 93 overall, 30 years old, playing with Ovechkin still, who does not retire. He is up to 1,100 goals. Tage Thompson, what are we looking like here? We are over a point per game now. There you go, 724 points in 715 games. We will see if we can break his point record this year. Still got Jack Quinn on the right side. I wish Matt Savoie would play on that right side, but that's okay. Simulating year number 7, I believe I said. Let's see what we got. Can we make it to the third round for the first time? Let's go. The Sabres get the revenge on the Ottawa Senators from last year, but once again fall in the second round to the Toronto Maple Leafs. For the first time in this simulation, Tage Thompson does not lead the Buffalo Sabres in scoring as the Great 8, the 43-year-old phenom, leads the way with 111 points. But 107 points, still a really good season. 70 assists as well. 37 goals on 319 shots. 16 power play goals for Ovi. I wish they could probably edit their lineup to have Tage Thompson as the shooter, but they probably have Ovi as the shooter, which makes sense. But another year in the books where he cannot make it past the second round. And after this year, this is his contract year. So he may not be on the Buffalo Sabres come next year. Let's see where he ends up. For the first time in the career simulation, the Buffalo Sabres do not make the Stanley Cup playoffs. Tage, what's going on, buddy? What is going on here? Tage also has one of his worst seasons, coming off a huge contract extension. Does get the 50 goals, 93 points in 82 games, plus 36. Still a great year. but not good enough to lead the team to the playoffs. After a disappointing last year, Tage Thompson does remain a 93 overall, but he has two new line mates as he got Bobby Brink and Casey Middlestat playing on his line now, so we'll see how that goes. He is now in year 2 of his monster contract extension and 1 year off after missing the playoffs, so I expect big things here. I'm going to predict not as great line mates, but let's say 101 points, good for 52 goals. The Sabres are back in the playoffs, but you know how the story goes. In round 2, the Leafs take us out once again. Will Tage Thompson ever see the third round? God, I don't know. Thompson once again does reach that 50-goal mark. A little bit better of a season than last year as he has 94 points in 82 games. I was a little bit off with the prediction, but did make the Stanley Cup playoffs. He is now up to a grand total of 1,018 points in 961 games. In the playoffs, he has 87 points in 72 games. Only 1 year where he was under a point per game. In Tage's final year on his contract, he finally has some superstar X Factors to join him as welcome to the team Robert Thomas and Dylan McInnes. I wonder if they made a trade for these players or how they got drafted by Montreal. So it's most likely free agency. Big contract there. McInnes, not the craziest contract there, but that first line is looking really good now. So we got McInnes, who's a playmaker, Tage Thompson, the sniper, and Robert Thompson, who's a two-way forward. I think that's going to be a really, really good first line. But this is the contract year for Tage Thompson. So after this year, may not be on this team. So this might be the last chance for the Buffalo Sabres and Tage Thompson to win a Stanley Cup together. Let's get into another year. Looking at the all-time Buffalo Sabres records, it looks like Tage Thompson doesn't currently have any records, but is pretty close on points. Seasons is Casey Middlestat, assists Rasmus Dahlin, and then goals at the very bottom. It looks like potentially after this year, Tage Thompson will be the all-time leader in goals for the Buffalo Sabres. Sabres back in the playoffs, and it's a shocker. We didn't get eliminated in the second round. We get eliminated in the first round this year. Let's go. Statistically, though, Tage Thompson puts up 66 goals, his most goals in his career, 99 points, a great season, 425 shots. What a year from Tage Thompson. That's big on his contract year. Let's see. He was making 12.75 before. He'll be 34 years old. I'm going to predict he's closing on retirement. I'm going to predict he's going to make $13.65 million on a new team. Let's see where he signs. Side note, Tage Thompson does win the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy for the first time in his career. Looks like Thompson just loves Buffalo in that first and second round entries as he re-signs here with the Buffalo Sabres down to a 91 overall, signs a 2-year deal worth $9.6 million. So a pretty good deal for his potential and his overall. And we got Dylan McInnes still on that left side and Robert Thomas still on that right side. Looks like Gabe Vilardi's joined the team. Team is actually looking really good for top 6 wise. They do not have a lot of superstar X factors. Dillion's still at 94, Owen Power 92. That bottom 4 though, you can tell they use a lot of money on our top 2 defensemen and our top line. But let's get into another year of simulating and see if Tage Thompson can break the spell of the first and second round curse. Hey, shocker, shocker. The Buffalo Sabres make the Stanley Cup playoffs, but they lose probably for the 6th time. I feel like it's always the Toronto Maple Leafs who take us down, as the Leafs beat us in 5 games. Or I shouldn't say us. The Leafs beat the Buffalo Sabres in 5 games. But Tage Thompson has an incredible season as he puts up 65 goals, 50 assists for 115 points, almost tying his career best. And the best part about him is it's all pretty much 5-on-5, only 17 power play points. Adding a little bit more hardware to his collection, the Art Ross Trophy, anything else that we get to add for him. We get the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy and the Art Ross. That's it. It looks like Roop Hintz wins the Hart Trophy. He's been screwed out of the Hart Trophy a couple times. I'm just going to say it. In his 12th season, it looks like Tage Thompson, the 35-year-old, is finally starting to regress here as he is down to an 89 overall. Still playing with McInnes and Robert Thomas. Looks like they've drafted someone probably named Wesley Madsen or made a trade of some sort. Gabe Vilardi. Brink still there. The team is looking pretty good still. I'm not going to lie. It's a good squad. But Tage Thompson aging in his contract year now. So we'll see if he can once again try getting past that first and second round and see what we can do. Let's go, Tage. 6'6" beauty. Let's keep it rolling. Once again, the Buffalo Sabres do make the Stanley Cup playoffs, but first round we get eliminated by the Philadelphia Flyers this time. Never been eliminated by them, so at least that's a new part of the simulation here. As for Tage Thompson's stats, he does cross the 100-point mark once again with 101 points in 82 games, 56 goals, bringing his grand totals up to 1,333 points in 1,207 games in the playoffs, 102 points in 89 games, so not too shabby, not too shabby. Tage Thompson has finally joined a new team, and this team is sick. The New York Islanders have signed Tage Thompson to a 1-year, $7.5 million deal. And look at this roster. We've got Colby Kunitz, Tage Thompson, and Nathaniel Somers, 89, 87, 90 overall. Then we got Maxwell Thompson. Who knows? That can be his goddamn brother or son or something. Matt Barzal, and then Aiden Ranford. And then on the third line, some more superstar X Factors, because why not? Emmanuel Thurin, Brett Davison, and Capo Caco at 87 overall in the third line. Then we got an 85 Quentin Musty. This might be the team to get him past that first round. Who do they got in net? Sorokin still, Blake Lovejoy. So a weak goaltending situation, but their forward crew, this is elite. Let's see how Tage Thompson does in his first year as a New York Islander. Tage's first year with the Islanders, they lose the Battle of New York in round 1 to the Rangers. And look at that, the Buffalo Sabres make the second round, but unfortunately fall once again in round number 2. Shocker, shocker. Tage Thompson is tied for the lead scoring on the Islanders with Colby Kunitz as he finishes with 46 goals, 48 helpers, 94 points to bring him down to an 86 overall now. Bottom 6. So this may have been his last year in the league. We'll see. We'll see if he signs again. And Tage Thompson decides to call the career quits at 37 years old, 86 overall. He could have played a couple more seasons, I think, but finishing with 1,427 points in 1,289 games. I mean, since the simulation started, if I can speak, 89 points, 115, 106, 100, 97, 114, 107, 93, 94, 99, 115, 101, 94. Never below a point per game. Was an absolute beast the whole way through. Won a couple Maurice Rocker Richards, a couple Art Ross, 1 Hart Trophy, 1 President's Trophy. So that's going to do it for Tage Thompson's career. Unfortunately, never going to win the Stanley Cup according to NHL 23. But what do you think about Tage Thompson? Is he the most underrated player in the NHL? Let me know down in the comments below who is the most underrated player in the NHL. And next time, who do we want to do for career simulation? I don't know. It's a big one. Do we want to do someone like Owen Power, or do we want to go to a different team? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, as always, have a wonderful day. Take care. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And see ya.